So as the title says, I am 31, caught my GF, F28, with another man in her apartment when I came to see her on Monday evening. So to kind of give you guys the rundown of my situation, me and this girl have been together for 6 years. 2023 in particular, we kind of starting having issues, so we broke up for a bit and then kind of floated back to each other and worked things out. But we have a lot of history, you know. Her car is under my name because her credit was low because of her student loans. I didn't have an issue with it because again, we were together for a long time with little to no issues. I've helped her pay for school for her master's, paid classes for her. I've helped her with rent on her current apartment while also taking care of my personal bills and situation. She's also been there for me for a lot, like my mom and grandma passing away 6 months apart in 2019. But to get the point, I went over to her place on Monday evening because I wanted to see her and surprise her. We'd pretty much talk every day, call each other multiple times on FaceTime and or for our dogs to socialize. It's kind of our thing, since we both work from home. So we had spoke at around 2 p.m. that day while she was getting lunch, and then I hung up because I had some work to do. So after I was done with work around 5-ish, I called her and she immediately ignored the call, which made me assume she was napping, since usually if she's napping she'll ignore the call and call me back when she wakes up. So with that in mind, I had texted verbatim, "Hey, I'm going to stop by the smoke shop to get an eighth and then I'm going to swing by your place for a bit to hang out." I have to clarify, in our entire relationship she's always told me that as long as I give her a heads up in advance that I'm coming over, without her normally asking, I can always pop up. So after that I got the items and waited for the bus to go across the bridge to NJ, where she lives, and it took longer than usual, so my phone died and I was waiting about 55 minutes for the next bus. When I finally arrive, I go to her door and I knock, assuming she's seen my text and knows I'm coming, and say her dog's name, so he can get excited. But what happens is she bolts out of the apartment and she's like, "What are you doing here? Why are you here right now?" And she looks panicked, so I'm just confused and I'm like, "What's going on right now?" And at this point she's like, "You have to go right now, it's not a good time for you to be here." And I'm just like super confused and at this point getting extremely anxious and nervous, so I'm asking her who's in that apartment right now? And she doesn't want to answer and her eyes look crazed as I keep persisting that she tells me what's going on, and I've never seen her look at me with so much hatred, and at this point resorts to start hitting me and kicking me and yelling at me to leave before she calls the cops, something I'd never expected from her ever. And at this point I start trying to leave because I'm scared, so she starts chasing me down the stairs, and when we get to front lobby she's still hitting me and calling all sorts of names and stuff, even kicked me in the balls. While this is all happening, multiple people come to see what's going on and what's causing the commotion. At one point she tells a gentleman who lives in her building to call the cops on me, but this gentleman knows me too and he's seen her hitting me for over 10 minutes while I never laid a finger on her. So he tells her, "I'm not going to call the cops on him, I'm going to call them on you," and this makes her go back inside the building and she grabs my collar and brings me in, so we find our way back upstairs and we're still arguing it. Then at this point some dude I've never seen before opens her door. He's like a redhead and kind of chubby. And the look on both our faces, I wish I could describe it. But at this point you can guess I got heated after remaining calm the entire time. So she ends up running in the apartment with him and yells from inside the house that I need to leave and that she'll call the cops. So I left. And ever since I've been going through a plethora of emotions because I never expected this to happen. Like, we were both not perfect, but I love that woman with everything. I would literally move mountains for her. If I was broke and had $100 left and she needed 50, I'd give her 100. But now I'm just here, we haven't spoke or she hasn't said anything to me. I'm just hurt and confused. I'm just hoping someone here can help me with navigating through this. Story 2. I'm trapped in Sudan, and a civil war is about to break. A civil war just started in Sudan right now. I woke up at 9 a.m. to bomb sounds and screams. They told everyone to take shelter and stay home. Every time I refresh my feed I see more and more people die and am growing more fearful of what's coming next. There's tanks that are the size of a whale roaming outside, aircraft and military helicopters shooting in the air. The clouds are all dark red and black. The airport is completely destroyed and so many planes have been hijacked and bombed. Right now I'm laying at the floor because I live right behind the airport. The war zone is facing my house, they cut off our electricity and the fighting is still going strong, and I fear for mine and my parents' life. We took our passports and a couple of warm clothes just in case we need to flee. I fear for mine and my parents' life too. I'm scared because Therese only two choices. Either I stay in Sudan and wait for death to come around, or become an immigrant and start living an undignified life. This is heartbreaking. The building behind us got hit and it's only a matter of time before we get hit too. And it kills me that Therese no hope because both sides are rotten and both Hemeti and Buran are corrupted. No stores are open and we started to ration our food so that it doesn't run out. I pray that Allah protects us. And if not, then Allahumma Husn al-Khatima. Ashadu anu la ilaha illa Allah wa ashadu anna Muhammad Rasul Allah. Update 1. It's been over a month now for the civil war that happened in my country, Sudan. Things have been going downhill ever since, and so is my patience and mental health. It's been 21 days of no electricity and water, and our food in the fridge, or what's left of it, is all spoiled and rotten. We are running out of cash and I don't know how to run things anymore. The stores all around us are closed and all of our cash got spent on buying water from the milk van. We can't afford milk because it's way too expensive, and we need the cash for both my mother and dad's medicine. The RSF forces are robbing all the nearby houses, and it's only a matter of time before they reach ours. I can't imagine my mother getting raped or my dad getting shot to death. And there are only 10 hospitals in the country, and they only treat the military forces and announce the dead civilians. I figured we have to flee to the States, but I fear we might get killed on the way. And with no income, and my dad being 80 and mum being 50 and weak, it's up to my 19-year-old ass to hit the streets and find a job, but no one is hiring. Not even a maid or a babysitter. And I never imagined that one day he'll go from being a medical student to a panhandler in the streets. Yesterday it was 2 a.m. when a bomb hit the airport, and it lit up the whole sky and shook the house and broke all our windows, doors, kitchen utensils and ornaments. My mother sat down and talked to me about her will, and if she dies she wants things to go according to her will, and that I should learn how to do Ghusl al-Mayyit. As I'm writing this, tears are stinging my eyes and her words keep circling my head, and I just want to bury myself and relieve myself from all of this. But my parents have no one but me to support them. And I would do anything for them, and I would sacrifice everything for them. Even if it costs my happiness and well-being. I pray that Allah helps us and protects us all, and if not, then Allahumma Husn al-Khatima. Ashhadu na la ilaha illa Allah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasul Allah. Edit 1. I would like to thank everyone for their kind words and attention. It meant so much to me and my family. I appreciate everyone's prayers and concerns. I would also like to point out that I am in no mean looking for financial support. I just needed to vent and talk about my situation, and it certainly made me feel better. I can't and won't accept any money from anyone, and I want to thank you again for the lovely gesture. For those who have asking about my gender, I am a cis female. For those who have been asking about how I got a charged phone and internet, we have solar power charges and a data SIM, Zon, which I use to order meds online, watch the news, talk to friends and relatives, and use the flashlight. Update 2. Hi everyone. Most of know me as Pickle Nut Juice, but my real name is Tartel Omer Yagi. I'm a 19-year-old female. I have been venting extensively on Reddit ever since the civil war in Sudan started. I want to start off by thanking everyone who gave me their prayers, support and love. It meant a lot to me, and I will never forget how random strangers on the internet stood by me more than my actual friends. So, truth be told, there's been ups and downs, but alhamdulillah, God has been watching over us and making sure our bellies are stuffed and our bodies wrapped in warm blankets. And I couldn't be more grateful for what we have right now. It might not be much, but every time I curse this situation I remember that there are families who are dealing with even worse issues, and I pray everyone makes it through these difficult times. For the past 2 weeks or so, we have been attacked and held hostages by the RSF. They took our phones, and I managed to hide this one inside a box in a refrigerator. Our housekeeper just passed away a few minutes ago from all the beating and raping he had to go through. I saw him getting raped with a glass bottle, and it broke inside him, and they still kept sodomizing him. We had to wear gloves and dig in inside to remove the glass pieces and perform Ghusl al-Mayyit on him, then wrapped him up for the men to take him away so they can bury him. May his soul rest in peace. The RSF are targeting us because they want our cars. They blithely destroyed and robbed all of the cars outside. The ones that they need is the Toyota Tacoma and the Land Cruiser, and other small cars are just milked out of fuel. And they managed to get inside and found so many big cars for them to take away. Now my car is parked right behind them, and they took out the wires and started the car, but it won't move because it's an automatic geared car and it needs the car keys. And we denied that we even know who this car belongs to. I finally managed to convince my mother 50F and my dad 80M that sooner or later we are gonna get killed if we just wait for them to run their business, and that we should take a run for it because we are now fugitives in their eyes. We are planning on going to Bari, which is a nearby city, and it's not safe, but at least we aren't wanted there. But the road to Bari is extremely dangerous. I don't know what's about to happen to me or my family, but for what it's worth I thought I'd just save my last words here. I want to thank my mother who fed and raised me and nursed me when I was at my lowest and cared for me when no one else did. And to my dad, I want to thank him for helping me perusing my dreams of becoming a doctor and protecting me at all costs and raising me to be the woman I am today. And to my best friend Moayad, you have been the most loyal friend I could ask for. You stood beside me, and even though you're the most annoying human being on earth, I love you. I really do. My fellow readers, I don't want your empathy or pity. I want you to pray for me to be able to get through this so that I can see the light of the sun with you. And if I don't make it, then I want you to remember that I stood my ground and stayed strong because of you. I pray that Allah protects me and my family. Months later, there is a video of a person, presumably Op, filming from the backseat of a car passing over a bridge spanning a river, confirmed in the comments to be the Nile River. The caption on the video reads, "Happy to say that I'm alive, well and officially out of Khartoum."